What's up guys, VitalSyntax here, and today I'm going to be doing a review for the multiplayer component of Crysis 3. I'm hoping that within the next couple weeks I'll be able to do a similar thing for the single player once I have had a chance to complete that. But the multiplayer I already have quite an extensive experience with. I've been playing the Crysis 3 multiplayer since the alpha, and also in the beta, and obviously now that the full game has been released I've been playing it quite a bit. In fact, at a couple points I was in the top 10 of experience points for the PC leaderboard. So I've been playing this game basically almost as much as anybody else out there. And with that experience I thought I would give you guys my opinions about how awesome this game is. To be upfront, I'm going to say that this game is probably one of my favorite first-person shooters in the past couple years, and I would strongly recommend buying it. But if you're interested in exactly what I mean by that, then go ahead and stick past the rest of the video. So first I want to go over some of the basic components of the game and give you guys an idea of what type of content you're going to be getting. So there's a total of 8 game modes and 12 maps, and those 8 game modes are some, classical game modes that you'd see in first-person shooters like deathmatch, team deathmatch, capture the flag, domination with flag points, a headquarters type of game mode where you have to capture a point that moves around the map. And then there's also some unique game modes like Hunter, where you have 2 players against an entire team of non-nanosuit players, and the nanosuit players are invisible, they have bow and arrows. It's kind of a fun game mode to mess around in, but I don't think it's really a game mode that's going to be played too often, maybe just here and there, but it is a pretty cool concept. And the next one is Assault, where essentially you have one team that's playing with nanosuits, another team that doesn't have nanosuits, but the team with nanosuits only has pistols, while the just human players have assault rifles, sniper rifles, shotguns. They can choose what class they want. And then essentially you have 1 life and you try and capture these assault points. And that's a really cool game mode. There's a couple other ones as well, but overall the selection of game modes I think is really awesome. I personally would say Spears, which is the domination-like game mode, and Capture the Relay, and the Crash Site game mode are probably the 3 that I would play the most from my gameplay experience. Now as far as the maps go, there's 12 maps, and they are all incredibly unique. There's kind of 3 sets that I would categorize each of the maps into. There's the alien tech weapons, or alien-like looking maps where you have lots of Ceph alien technology around the map, huge spiraling like tentacles that rise out of the ground or come from the sky. And these maps usually have kind of a grayish tone to them with lots of like alien colors like purple and green and red. And they're really, really cool to mess around and just look at. I mean, all of the maps are just amazing graphics, amazing detail, and just designed to precision. And then the other set of maps I would say is the kind of military-esque maps. There's actually one that has a battleship in the middle of it that you're trying to control, and that's where the bead spear point is. And that's a really cool map as well. Metal and overgrown grass and trees, and kind of that typical original Crysis feel and look to them, and those ones are absolutely beautiful as well. All the vegetation makes this game one of the best looking games that is out on the market. So overall the map design is excellent. They play really well, they flow really well, a lot of verticality, and when you have the nanosuit you can actually take advantage of multiple levels. You can flank by going up, by going down, or by going around. Now on to the weapons. Some people were concerned that in the beta there weren't enough weapons and that in the full game there weren't going to be any more weapons. Well, they're wrong. In the full game there's actually quite a few weapons. You've got a couple different sniper rifles. You've got a Gauss sniper in the DSG. There's a couple different assault rifles. There's a single shot one, a burst shot one. There's a couple different fully automatic ones. I think there's 3 full auto ones, the SCAR, the FY7, and the Scarab. There's a couple different submachine guns, light machine guns. There's a pretty good selection of weapons, and there's also these really kind of high-tech weapons like the Typhoon that shoots the 500 rounds per second, or the bow and arrow, the Predator bow as they call it, or even some of the alien tech weapons that are placed around the map like the Bolt Sniper or the Reaper Cannon. There's a bunch of different options for actual base weapons. There's a bunch of different secondaries. There's a bunch of different type of equipment. You can get like a rocket launcher, a grenade, a flash grenade, a smoke grenade, C4. So overall the selection of weaponry is actually pretty awesome. The only complaint I would say is that most of it is stuff we had from Crysis 2. There aren't a whole lot of new weapons, but regardless, I mean, not every game is trying to be have the biggest selection of weapons, and I think that some games that do that will have a lot of weapons that are very similar, whereas in I think Crysis 3, almost all of the weapons are extremely unique and handled in a different way, and kind of give you a different gameplay experience every time you use them. And on top of all these weapons, you can actually throw on a plethora of attachments, and you can get things from red dot sights, ACOG sights, sniper scopes, silencers, foregrips, underbarrel grenade launchers, flash suppressors, heavy barrels. There's a lot of different customization you can do to the weapons. There's also player or weapon skins. You can get like a digital camo for your assault rifle, and a couple other options like that. And you can actually change those attachments on the fly. I think the X on the PC is the default key. And you can actually, like, for example, use a red dot when you're in close range and then switch to an ACOG when you're at longer range. Or use the underbarrel shotgun, and when you run out of ammo, switch over to a foregrip. That way you have a reduced amount of recoil. So there's a lot of different options for customizing them, and on top of that, you can customize them on the fly, which is a feature that other games should implement, and that just makes the gameplay so much more fluent. And it kind of sucks in other games where you have to wait to the end of the game and then switch it while you're in like the pre-game lobby. Now, Crysis 2 as well as Crysis 3 have kill streaks, and these kill streaks work by killing another player. They drop a dog tag, you walk over their dead body to pick up the dog tag, and if you get 3 dog tags, you'll get an advanced radar, which essentially shows the enemy positions on the radar. Then at 5 dog tags, you'll get the Swarmer, which essentially is a rocket launcher after that. And there's also an orbital strike. It kind of depends on which map you're playing on. Then after that, there's an EMP or a Ceph gunship. The Ceph gunship is basically the only automated kill streak in the game, which is really good. That's something I really don't like about, for example, Call of Duty, is that you can just get killed by a helicopter that the guy isn't even controlling and doesn't take any skill to use. Whereas I think the kill streaks like the Swarmer, which essentially gives you a gun that you have to use, or the EMP, which makes it so that the enemy nanosuits lose energy, so you still have to shoot them. They just don't have armor or stealth, and it's only for a limited amount of time. And the maximum nanosuit, which is the last kill streak, which is so awesome. It basically makes you invincible. Not completely, you can be killed, but you have to be being shot by like 6 people all up close with shotguns or something like that. And that's just one of the most invigorating feelings when you get that maximum nanosuit and you're on this 15 kill spree. Oh, it's so intense, and your mind is racing and you're incredibly focused. And that's, I think, a feeling that I haven't gotten with shooters in a long time, is that really focused, honed in concentration of aiming for people's heads, learning when to use armor, learning when to switch over to stealth. Since you have this immense amount of movement speed, you can flank enemies, you can run away from enemies if you're going to lose a gunfight. If you run into multiple enemies, you can run away and wait for them to split up and take them out one by one. There's so many different options that the nanosuit brings to the table that I think this is one of the most exhilarating and fun experiences, but also one of the most unique experiences as far as first-person shooters go. Now, I will say there is a bit of a learning curve to Crysis 3. I see a lot of new players not really understanding how to use the nanosuit properly, and if you don't use the nanosuit properly, you're going to be at a huge disadvantage to somebody that has experience on how to play with it. Now, I've been playing, Crysis 2's multiplayer and Crysis 3's multiplayer. They're very similar, so I have quite a bit of experience on how to use my cloak, how to use stealth, how to use armor mode, how to use the speed and the power jump and all that things. But you really need to take the time and kind of understand when certain things are appropriate. And hopefully I'll be able to upload some videos, or I've already uploaded some videos that kind of go over tutorials or how-tos on how to use the nanosuit the most efficient way possible. That way you can improve your gameplay. Because, yeah, this game has the gun skill element that other games have, where if you get better at aiming for the head, since this game has a high amount of health and a high headshot multiplier, you can outshoot people that can't aim as good as you, which is something that I think every shooter should have. But on top of that gun skill, there's also this element of nanosuit skill. I mean, if you can use your armor more efficiently, or use stealth more efficiently, or use movement or power jumping, any of the increased strength aspects of the nanosuit, you can out-kill people, even if they're in like groups of 5 or 6 people. I mean, I've run into situations where I've run across 5 people. I'll throw my armor and run away. That way, I know they're going to follow me. I'll throw on cloak, wait for them to run past, shoot them in the back, or slowly assassinate them each by one by one. Or I can run away from a situation, come back, kill one of them, run away, kill back, come back and kill another one. And you can be flanking them from different angles every time you do that. And that's something that's only possible in Crysis 3. This game is so fast-paced. I think that's one of the reasons why it allows you to get this mindset of incredible focus and incredible concentration that, once again, just really isn't possible in other shooters. So overall, for me, Crysis 3 has been one of the best shooters so far. There might be some balancing issues, but at least Crysis, the developers of Crysis 3, Crytek, have been releasing some patches that fix some of the complaints the community has, and hopefully they'll continue to do that. The only thing I'm worried about with Crysis 3 is that not enough people will buy it, and the reason they're not going to buy it is because they don't know how awesome it is. I think they did a really good job with the advertising for this game, and I'm sure they've sold a lot more copies than they did with Crysis 2. But trust me, if you play first-person shooters like Battlefield, Counter-Strike, Call of Duty, any of those mainstream ones, and you like emphasis on skill, emphasis on concentration, teamwork, and just awesome freaking badass fun, then you are going to love this game. Although, keep in mind that when you first play it, you might be a little frustrated just because you don't know how to use the nanosuit properly, and people that have already purchased the game do. So I encourage you that once you buy this game, you don't just say, oh, this is too hard, or oh, they're being cheap. Take your time to learn how to play the game properly, because this game is not a one-to-one skill translation from other shooters. You really have to learn how to use that nanosuit. So once again, overall, this game is freaking fantastic. If I had to give it a review, easily a 9 out of 10, maybe even a 10 out of 10 for the multiplayer. Once again, the single player I'll have to do a review on in the next coming weeks. But stick around if you want to, and subscribe. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video.